What's going on, guys? Mitch here, and today we're taking a look at these absolute beauties from Sidi. These are the Zero Gore 2, and if you have followed me for the last little while, I bought these guys about a year ago, and I want to do a follow-up review. And as you can see, I've tried my best to keep them clean, one more than the other apparently, but I wanted to do kind of a long-term one-year review, knowing that I live in Canada and I've done kind of, I guess, a couple falls, or is it 2 falls, or 1 fall and 2 springs, or vice versa, something like that. It's springtime now and I'm going into another one, so these are going to be my shoe of choice for the upcoming next little while here. So essentially I just kind of wanted to review these guys with you, kind of my initial impressions. I guess, you know, when I did my unboxing, I did a real quick overview and, oh, this looks good, blah, 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 but after spending some time, I'm going to kick this one off to the side. It looks a little more dirty and a little more used, so I'm going to throw that off to the side. And we're basically just going to look at this one, and I'm going to talk about kind of my experience with IST as a very casual conversation, I might add, compared to like a Shot 2 and a couple other ones I've had here. So in terms of fit on this shoe, I went with a 47. I ride a 47 in the other size Sidi, and I find that this one might actually be a little bit smaller fitting, not by much. I want to say like a quarter size, and that's probably because the materials themselves are just that much thicker. Could be nothing, could be something. Anyway, in terms of the buckle design, I really like this. One, the Velcro, I've always been a set it and forget it guy kind of on the front. It's the high-end Velcro as well, so it's like ultra grippy compared to some of the other stuff that I've kind of used in the past. I do not have an issue with it, but I've always kind of just cranked that down and really not had any issues with it. The Sidi, I want to call it the BOA or whatever, to me has always been the gold standard in the shoe business, because you can release the entire system with one bloop like that, versus, you know, tightening it up, ratcheting it is just super adjustable and simple. And I guess, I can probably show how that works. Put some pressure on the inside, squeeze, and it opens up for you. So pretty simple and very usable, especially when you want to get in and out of shoes. You come home, you're soaking wet, you just want your shoes off. I'd certainly appreciate that. The liner itself, I was a little worried originally, because looking at this, I was like, well, there's still a lot of kind of places for air and cold to kind of come inside the shoe, and that totally wasn't the case. It's super insulated, it's a thick tongue, and then actually if you feel the tongue itself, it's quite a bit more insulated than the top of the tongue, which is kind of more flexible, if that makes sense. This is like almost in between like a regular shoe and like a winter shoe. It's very flexible, but down here it's clearly insulated and much thicker on top of the tongue. So really good for water, really appreciate that. No issues there, fit-wise, great. This wrap, honestly, I don't feel like it does a whole lot. When you're actually out, it kind of just cinches things up and then provides an air brake against the top. I feel like that's more to do with the tongue layout itself and how that's, I just mentioned it's a thinner material up here. So it's nice to add that layer of insulation on top, which is probably the design. I don't know though, I'm not an engineer. On the inside of this guy, you know, this is where the magic happens, so to speak. You look in, this level of insulation is all over the place, and it is all one piece around the heel, which makes it super comfortable. And anytime you have a seam, it allows kind of cold air to come in. So there's no seams in the heel, your feet stay toasty warm. It is Gore-Tex, obviously, and Gore-Tex is a manufactured, it's like a branded material, which is like a super waterproof kind of setup. And you know what, like you ride this in the rain, snow, whatever, it has done super well. The molded heel on the back as well, it's Sidi, like it just fits so well. You know, I've got thinner feet and no issues. And then not only that, I've had them for a year and they still look like really good. I obviously don't walk on a lot of stuff, but I was kind of cleaning these off, expecting them to be a lot more damaged, and they look still pretty good. I used a pressure washer, no big deal. I should also say the back of the tongue has kind of neoprene as well, or the back of the heel has neoprene, which is nice and comfortable as well if you're wearing like thicker wool socks. Kind of expands and contracts with kind of moisture management. And then in terms of the fit itself, I find it a little wider as well. So a little shorter in toe length, but also a little wider. And I think it's because a lot of people like to use, thicker socks. So something, they've thought this guy through in terms of spring and fall. And then what else? I guess that guy here is really good because your ankle bone is kind of right in that area, and it ends up being a little bit of a barrier for rubbing, which is nice. Material-wise, everywhere else, it's just a solid, well-made product. Good stitching, no fraying, other than I did see one spot kind of down here, which is like, come on, like nothing, right? And let's look at the other shoe just in case that's happening on there too, which it is not. So there you go. Would I buy them again? Well, I think the biggest regret that I had with these shoes is that I didn't buy them sooner, or just, use this video as a blanket statement for spring fall riding shoes. In Canada, obviously, like spring and fall is like half of our year here. And, I've always used different socks. I've added tape to vents on the bottom and all this stuff. And, I have not had cold toes in this. Like, look at the toe. There's no seams up front. It just breaks through. There's no ventilation. It just, your toes stay warm. And that's always been the battle with me, is maintaining my toes to stay warm. So I've been so confident to recommend these. It's not even funny. But, it's a competitive marketplace. So take a look at some of the others. Like, I think Physique has a really, really nice pair that I'd love to try out as well. I can't remember what they're called. Off the top of my head, I can't recall. But real nice shoe. I'd love to check that out. And otherwise, replaceable heel. You can put toe picks on here, I believe. I think that would probably come off somehow. Maybe from inside. I don't know. But normally, no, this is the road shoe. Of course there's no toe picks. What am I saying? They probably offer a mountain version with toe picks. Otherwise, like, honestly, no issues. The bow has been solid. You can buy the replacement kits for that if you do think you're going to kind of wreck them. I think I'm going to leave you guys on that there. I've been talking here for a few minutes, and I feel like I'm probably talking in circles. Essentially, if we're going to wrap this up, I'd say, would I recommend them? Absolutely. If you're going to use them. If you're not going to use them, you can kind of work around and use socks. You can, thicker wool socks. You can get toe covers, etc. But if you truly ride, in like really wet, really cold conditions, and, maybe you've already bought multiple winter kits, I don't see why you wouldn't buy shoes to match. But that's on you. They are less expensive than a standard road shoe. They're about, I'd say, half the price. And they're, technology-wise, they're not lightweight or anything. They're warm. It's like throwing on a very heavy winter coat. They are warm. They're not light. They are made to get you out there and get you back. So I'm a real big fan, and you'll probably see me rocking these in the vlogs on a couple different bikes coming forward here into the spring of 2024. So there you go. Look for these guys. Sidi, my one of my favorite brands of shoes that I've ever got to use, and I'm really pumped to show you more with these and talk about them obviously in some of the vlogs. So check out the vlogs playlists and subscribe to that. Otherwise, I will catch you guys later. Enjoy the week, and talk soon. Peace.